Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have some groundbreaking news that's been making waves across Europe. Buckle up as we dive into the significant changes in Europe's immigration rules, a historic agreement that's set to reshape the entire region. This isn't your average news, we're talking about a landmark decision that has been years in the making. So, what's the scoop? Let's unravel the details and understand the real impact these changes will have on the European Union. But first, let's rewind a bit. For years, the immigration issue has been a constant source of tension within the EU. The sheer scale of the challenge became apparent in 2015 when record numbers of migrants made their way to European shores. Fast forward to today, and the need for a comprehensive solution has never been more pressing. Now, imagine a region where different nations, each with its own concerns, have come together to address this complex issue. That's exactly what has happened. The agreement we're about to dissect is not just a policy shift. It's a historic moment that could redefine how Europe deals with immigration. Stay tuned as we break down the key aspects of these reforms, from equitable distribution and financial contributions to the controversial measures aimed at expediting deportations. And yes, we'll also discuss the figures and stats that underline the urgency of these changes. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started on this journey through the shifting landscape of Europe's immigration rules. Solidarity and equitable distribution. Now let's delve into the first major shift: increased solidarity among EU member states. Picture this as a collective effort to ensure a fair distribution of migrants across the region. The aim? Relieve the burden on coastal southern states, including Spain, Italy, and Greece, which have shouldered a disproportionate share of arrivals. As of November this year, Frontex reported over 355,000 irregular border crossings, a 17% increase, highlighting the urgency for a more balanced distribution. Financial contributions. Moving on to the second point, countries putting the brakes on accepting migrants will now be opening their wallets. Instead of taking in asylum seekers, they're asked to contribute financially. It's a novel approach to sharing the responsibility, and as we know, numbers speak volumes. This financial contribution mechanism aims to ensure a more cooperative approach to managing the immigration challenge. Thorough vetting in detention centers. Now let's address the plan for more thorough vetting, a controversial aspect that's turning heads. Migrants arriving at borders will undergo a more rigorous vetting process. This includes the establishment of detention centers. While some see it as a necessary step to ensure security, NGOs and human rights campaigners have raised concerns. The fear is that this could create what some describe as a fortress mentality in Europe. Striking a balance between security and human rights remains a critical challenge. Deportation acceleration. Now let's tackle a controversial facet of these reforms: the acceleration of deportations. Imagine a system where individuals are categorized based on the likelihood of their asylum approval. The goal? To expedite deportations for those less likely to be granted asylum. It's a strategy aimed at streamlining the process, but it comes with its fair share of criticisms. This move, though contentious, is part of the broader effort to tighten control over immigration. Numbers show that up to the end of November this year, Frontex recorded over 355,000 irregular border crossings into the EU, prompting a push for more efficient deportation procedures. Crisis mechanism. Moving on to the crisis mechanism, a plan designed to address sudden influxes of migrants. During crises, member states gain the flexibility to relax rules temporarily. This includes the ability to detain people for longer periods. While this approach aims to provide a rapid response to emergencies, it's not without its skeptics. Concerns raised by human rights campaigners highlight the potential for increased vulnerability and reduced protections for migrants during times of crisis. Timeline for implementation. Now let's talk about the when and how. When can we expect these reforms to take effect, and are there potential roadblocks on the horizon? While the usual EU legislative period suggests it could take a couple of years, the overnight deal isn't quite a done deal yet. Formalities, including ratification, are pending. Given the political sensitivity of these reforms, there might be some roadblocks ahead. Keep an eye on this space as we navigate through the intricacies of the implementation timeline. Political context and European elections. Now, Let's zoom out and examine the broader political context surrounding these reforms, especially considering the impending European elections. Picture this: the backdrop of an agreement that's not merely policy but a transformative decision for the EU. The urgency is palpable. Over 355,000 irregular border crossings until November this year, emphasizing the pressing need for a comprehensive solution. As the political landscape evolves, the upcoming European elections in the first half of next year hold significant sway. Member states and the EU Parliament are pushing to solidify these changes before the elections, recognizing the potential impact they may have on political dynamics across the region. The statistics aren't just numbers, they're the pulse of a region navigating through a pivotal moment in its immigration policies. Criticisms and controversies. Despite the applause from EU member states, it's crucial to address the criticisms and controversies that linger despite the approval of these reforms. The numbers speak volumes: over 355,000 irregular border crossings until November this year, a 17% increase signaling the urgency for change. NGOs and human rights groups are raising valid concerns, emphasizing potential pitfalls in the reforms. Critics argue that the categorization for deportation acceleration, while aiming for efficiency, may compromise the delicate balance between security and the rights of those seeking asylum. The Sea-Watch Rescue charity, backed by over a dozen NGOs, calls this agreement a historic failure, underlining the gravity of the situation. These criticisms aren't mere dissent, they're crucial voices shaping the narrative of a region grappling with the complexities of immigration reform. As we dissect these concerns, it's evident that the statistics aren't just data points, they represent real challenges that demand careful consideration. So, what are the key takeaways from this seismic shift in Europe's immigration rules? We've witnessed a move toward increased solidarity, financial contributions in lieu of acceptance, and a controversial strategy to accelerate deportations. These changes are designed to address the pressing challenges posed by irregular migration. As we digest these reforms, one thing is clear: the landscape of immigration in Europe is evolving. Stay tuned for more updates as we keep our finger on the pulse of further developments in the coming months. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the transformative changes in Europe's immigration policies. Your insights and opinions matter. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. We're committed to keeping you informed as this story unfolds. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and be part of the conversation. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay curious.